Hey everyone, this is Jordan here. This is me in post-production mode. We decided because we started talking a lot about our bowl experiences and all our bowl reviews, recaps, that we were going to cut this one into two parts. So this is part one. This goes from the New Orleans Bowl all the way through to the end of the 28th, which was the Texas Bowl. The other half will come out later this week. But first, before we get into it, a message from our commissioner.
Hey, Commissioner Escalante here. I just wanted to thank everybody again for all the donations that we received for the Sickos Give Back Charity Drive. We raised $5,686 for the Iowa City Food Bank there, community crisis, and we definitely do appreciate everybody's donations. It was an amazing time, and we wanted to thank everybody again for this, and really our goal was 2,000, and everybody just went above and beyond, nearly triple the goal that we had. So thank everybody. Regarding the raffle for the winner of the $100 gift card to the Onion store who we're not affiliated with, I wanted to let you know we're going to spin a wheel right here. Random number selector. We logged all the emails and everything like that, which took a little bit longer than we hope. So thank you for bearing with us and being patient over the holidays. Just wanted to let you know. Jordan, go ahead and put a wheel spinning noise here if you want to. But I wanted to let you know the winner of the raffle, the $100 gift card to the Onion, goes to Braden Roberts. I did just email you earlier today, Braden. So I wanted to let you know. Thank you so much for your generous donation. And I will email you the gift card, so keep an eye out for that. Again, thank you so much for your donations and everybody else's donation to the Sickos Give Back Food Drive.
Okay, everyone ready?
Sure.
Welcome, everyone. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
I was saying
Beth is going to pop in at some point in time. Just wanted to let you know that.
Fine, that's great.
Welcome,
everyone. God damn it. Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Committee podcast. This is our recap of bowl season, but not all of it, except we covered the first couple. So now we're here to cover the rest. Our goal today is to cover each game in as much information as we feel like giving you about it, as much as we feel like we have to say about it. With me tonight, as always, is Commissioner Escalante, and we have Pitt Girl, Andrew, and later on we'll have Beth pop in. I realized the last time Beth popped in, I didn't actually introduce her when she popped in. So on the recording, it's just like another voice jumps in. It was wonderful. Oh yeah, no, it was very
no introduction.
Commish, how's your holiday season been? How did things go? How you doing? I haven't seen you in a while.
The holidays were great. It was I didn't have to go anywhere this year. It was fantastic. Nice. Like I was home base the whole time. I did have to work a lot at my real job, which was very frustrating.
You sounded so fucking miserable those days.
It was
like,
not fun.
I know your general vibe at this point after so many years, and you just sounded fucking miserable.
When I work in, I don't want to get too far detailed. Like we get stuff from different state governments, and so I just start cussing out states. So I'll just be like, "Fuck you, Montana." What the fuck? It's like, goddamn you, New Jersey. Like I'm just listen under my breath, just cussing out. What the fuck is your problem?
States, I like
North Carolina. You know, it's like what? Why do you want this? Iowa? You know, I'm just like
off-season show idea. Commish rank states just on vibes alone.
Commish rank states by regulatory agencies. Yes,
I like that. Oh yeah,
do that. We'll do that.
It's just reading the list.
Our first
like
10,000 download show. Oh yeah,
jumping through so many freaking hoops, and I was like just screaming states at the top of my lungs, and just so frustrated. It was great. I got a bunch of tamales, so that was fantastic. I made some Italian pasta for Christmas dinner. I was gonna make like the stuffed manicotti, but I made a mistake and bought the cannelloni, which the opening is much smaller on the cannelloni.
It is.
So I'm cussing under my. I cussed a lot over the holidays. I realize this now.
Apparently so. Yeah.
But I'm cussing as I'm trying to stuff the ricotta cheese inside. I can't fit it, and I'm trying not to like break the pasta at the same time.
So it's like you're just angry. That's such bad anger. I love it.
You're just like angry, but like still trying to be delicate at the same time. Like, oh. But it worked out good. It came out great though. That was my holiday fun.
Andrew, how are you doing?
I'm good. Holidays are great. Family was all here, busy with them. My teams went 0-3, and we'll get to this.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we'll get there. Back to back as well. As I've described, I think on the podcast before, I went to Michigan undergrad. I went to UCLA Masters, and then now I'm at Ohio State for PhD. And we'll probably do like a what the hell is that podcast at some point over
Oh
the
yeah.
off-season,
We'll
if you
we'll get
want.
there.
That back-to-back was like being punched in the face and then punched in the stomach. So that was good. But
Oh.
other than that, I'm great.
Pitt Girl, how was yours?
It was good. It was good. Pit Boyfriend's family does a bar crawl on Christmas Eve, which is
Nice.
always super fun. Slightly less fun this year because Pit Boyfriend got COVID afterwards.
Oh.
So I spent last week working from home, but it's fine. But it's all good in the obnoxiously Pitt household. Happy New Year.
I went out to my in-laws. I told them about this thing that I'm doing. They did not understand it, but they accepted it. It felt like coming out in a very small way, and that they were just very confused. And we're like, hey, you know what? If it makes you happy, I don't really care. The night we got there, we had dinner for 27 people.
What?
It was 17 adults and 10 kids. It was the night we flew in.
No.
It was chaos. It was fun and wonderful. This isn't the largest family gathering I'd ever had out there.
Wow.
It gets bigger, but this was just the biggest one we had this time. 17 is a lot of people. It's a big house. You can get away from people, but it's a lot. And there were at least 6 under the age of 7. Chaos. After that all finished, though, it was a nice, quiet weekend out there for the most part. And kiddo had a good time. That's all that really matters. And yeah, we got back. I flew on Southwest. I flew on Southwest on the 28th of December. And I think I was the only flight in this nation that was on time. Both sides.
Wow.
I was so excited. I feel
Did
like
you bet the lottery?
I got a lottery ticket for tonight, by the way. Oh, when's the drawing? Not
You
tonight.
got
11.
45 minutes. All right.
Also, in 45 minutes, when I become a
11
multi-millionaire,
Eastern.
and I buy all of you out. And by buy you out, I mean literally going to make you my personal assistants from now on out. Just so you know, to make your lives easier too.
Sounds good.
I don't have many needs.
As long as I don't have to cuss at states anymore, I'd be happy.
You know what? I'm
Maybe
gonna cut
you could
this
buy
part,
Delaware.
I would love to stop cussing at the state of Pennsylvania. So yes,
but there
yeah.
we go. It's funny. Commish and I are the only who else looks at the email accounts? Is it just you and me?
I think it's just me and you with the emails. Yeah.
So we have the Sickos Committee email account. We get all sorts of things in there. But something we've had a lot come up with lately are people asking us for jobs or internships, which is adorable. You guys think we're well put enough together to have this. I love that about you.
What about us makes you think we're that organized?
I know, it's adorable. I love it, guys.
Internships?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining in. Oh, Kevin's joined us. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, hi.
But yeah, people are just writing us being like, hey, you guys got internships or jobs or whatever? You know what? Y'all, if we had jobs or internships available, y'all would be the first to know. I promise you.
I mean, just checking out the emails and I check it periodically throughout the day, probably more than Jordan because Jordan likes the unread emails.
Yeah.
As we know.
Gosh.
Yes, he's
No.
a big fan of that.
No.
So, yeah, don't do it. But
No.
so, like we get emails. It's just like
Oh, you can't even see it.
I can't. Even
Oh
see.
God, my
Oh,
eyes.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
in
no.
the 5 digits.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
low 5 digits, 11,000.
So likely if you get a reply,
I have
Likely-
4 and I'm stressed.
likely if you get a reply from the account, it's most likely commissioner
Yeah, it usually
that's
is.
replying to it. Because I mean, like we just get emails that's just like, I'd love to join the committee. If you're looking for somebody, I love your Twitter account. I really would like to work for you. And I'm like, let us get everything settled like first, and then we'll talk about it. I mean, we get
Yeah.
these messages on our Instagram too. It's like, man, I really love you. I would really love to handle your Instagram and post all this stuff for you. And I'm like, really, the most I'm doing on the Instagram right now is just posting our beveled images there.
Mhm.
'Cause I'm trying to
Good
do it
stuff.
like tweets to the story. And then sometimes like if I try to post on the Instagram, like the video, I can't get the cropping right. Give us a follow because we don't know what we're doing. And it's kind of how we started on Twitter.
And by the way, guys, thank you, by the way, for all of you go-getters out there who are actually sending those emails being like, hey, can I work for you? I'm not going to shame you and make you feel like you shouldn't
No.
be doing that because that is a great thing. We are just not put together enough to accept those emails. That is us. That is not you. There's a difference.
No, I mean, I love it. They're shooting their shot. They're like, hey, let's give it a shot. I want to join this committee. I would like to do this and work for these folks. And I mean, it's flattering to us that like people think are we really this organized? We're not. We're not organized at all. We don't have like anything set up. We're working on it, I promise, and hopefully soon to come. I keep going back. Again, this is a Seinfeld reference, but when Kramer had an intern, just in the Seinfeld episode, and that went horribly wrong, and Kramer couldn't prove he had a business, I feel like we would have trouble explaining what we do to a college to try to give some sort of internship credit. It'd be ridiculous.
Get some dual credit here. It's fine.
Get
No,
some credit.
have them send over.
Sickos-
Have them send
Sickos
over
you.
their paperwork. We'll take care of that for sure.
We'll do it. We'll get that taken care of.
I'm really good at paperwork, guys, as you can probably tell. I'm really good at it. I'll mention it a little more later, but as I've been talking to people who, in person, to people who know us and have met me for the first time and find out where I'm from, and their questions are always like, so how many people do you guys actually have behind this thing? I was like, well, it varies, because they go, because it feels like I'm talking to like 12 personalities at once sometimes. I was like, yeah, that's, we are very much a lot of there are a lot of personalities you can squish into a single Twitter account and a podcast and a couple other things. You'd be surprised.
I mentioned this earlier today, but I really enjoy the Twitter account's ability to be its own reply guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where it's very obviously someone else behind the keyboard replying, just like,
oh yeah,
whether it's making fun of ourselves or agreeing with or taking a different angle on just one of my favorite things about this whole thing is just the different voices behind the one face.
It's also very funny when our followers are like trying to guess who it is, and they guess somebody who's like on the podcast or a common reply person who does not have the keys to the account, which has happened because one time somebody thought it was me.
When Joestar put out all the schools, and people loved that, because then it became a big game of, oh my god, what is this combination of people like? And the best was
that's actually just all the schools I've attended.
The best one is we had a Princeton person in our mentions going like, oh, a Dartmouth guy. I guess that explains it. Like that explains me fucking things up.
Seriously, they were going after you, and you were going back and forth with them. Princeton, Dartmouth.
Everyone I said something like, fight me, but I might be too drunk to do it, which it's about right.
Yeah, there were a few on that table that I wasn't entirely sure who they belonged to. Like, I didn't know we had an Illinois alum in this round table of ours.
Yeah, I can't remember who it is right now.
Yeah, we left out Penn State, we left out Michigan State. There's
UTSA, we left out my North Texas, left out
yeah. I mean, like LSU, Tulane. I mean, there's so many more on that. I mean, like
the Michigan State alum has not appeared on the podcast, but is one of the most frequent voices on the Twitter account, which is fun when people try to guess because they know names from this.
that's
and
why
not everyone on here is on there, and not everyone
like a
on
great
the
shell
account
game.
is on
I love
here.
It. It's a giant shell game where we're just like hiding things. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's fun for me personally when we have all these different college fandoms because it adds so much to the account itself.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if it was just myself and maybe just Jordan or one or two others, there's no way we could keep up with everything. So everybody has their own fan perspective and they bring it all in and we make sure we watch everything. And then we got all the inside background details. I think the fun part in the beginning when there was a lot of Pitt fans that were just like, okay, there's got to be a Pitt person in this account. Like
it's when I kept swapping out Pitt logos yes. or putting Pitt logos in the wrong color, or I used the block Pitt in like the navy, and they were like, okay, someone here has to be an insider. I was like, yeah. Yeah,
no,
you have a Pitt insider, and the rest of us spend too much time around Pitt.
My friggin' timeline, like on my personal account, is a lot of Pitt Twitter. I've realized when Pitt basketball plays, just scrolling,
just yelling.
Oh god,
yelling
volleyball.
A significant chunk of the rest of my recommended tweets are Pitt or Pitt adjacent at this point.
God,
you guys are not the first people I've done this to.
My dad's from Pittsburgh, so even though I'm from New Orleans, my dad's from Pittsburgh, so all the Pitt flavor I'm used to already. So definitely understand the Pitt flavor.
So we got our bowl game. We're going to start back on the 21st of December. First one was the New Orleans Bowl. That was Western Kentucky absolutely beating the crap out of Southern Alabama, who I thought was going to hold in longer than they actually did.
South Alabama.
South
yeah.
Alabama. God damn it.
We're going to do
Mobile.
the Mobile again. All right?
Mobile.
Oh no!
And Mobile.
Oh no!
I even asked my super California in-laws about this. They're like, it's Mobile. Okay, fine. It's just me.
Like you still can't. You think everybody is in on you pronouncing Mobile differently?
I have
You had
asked
to
a whole bunch of people
you
this
had to
last
ask
couple weeks, guys.
people from California.
Only really interesting about this was that Big Red was on Bourbon Street. Big Red was hanging out, living the life. I did not see him with beads in his mouth, which
No,
is probably the saddest thing. I was hoping for just like a mouthful of beads.
the R&L carriers, like the old school ad they've been running for like 17 straight years, they updated it, and I was
noticed that.
furious. I was like, oh, well, how would you update this? I was so happy to see it again. It's like something that was just never changing, and then the R&L carriers had to change the ad and update it. I'm like, no,
Like an old friend getting a haircut
I
unexpectedly.
know. It's
Something.
just so
It's like if
upsetting.
Hershey decided to update the Christmas ad with the kisses.
They
Like,
did.
Oh.
what?
They changed it this year. On YouTube, I saw a
Yeah,
version that
they did.
started with that, and then it jumps into like a little jazz mix. And it cuts to
Oh.
a family.
Huh.
It's really disorienting.
That's horrifying. I only saw the classic version on TV this year, thankfully.
We're getting to the point where that would be Cheez-It changing the "I'm feeling the cheesiest coach" commercial, and I don't know
but
how I feel about that.
If they have a new commercial and it's something with Ched Z in it, definitely
We'll get to fucking
We'll get
Ched Z.
we'll get the Ched.
I got
Oh,
some
God.
fucking opinions on Ched Z, y'all. Got some fucking
This is a safe
opinions.
space.
Then the Armed Forces Bowl. That was the game I went to, and it was so goddamn cold, guys. I don't
I'm
think
so
I can
happy you
explain
were
to you.
inside for that.
I am too. I don't know how I would have made it that night. I showed up in all of my layers like smart Northeasterner with the hand warmers, with everything. I would not have made it outside. First off, if TCU's press box didn't want their password given away, they should not have given it to me. That's issue one. That's on them, not me.
When I went to Las Cruces, New Mexico, they had the thing with like the password and everything, and I was just like, okay, this is the first time us ever being allowed. I can't make a mistake. Like I took the thing and I like cut off the password. I was like, I didn't want to give it away.
And me just fucked it up straight on.
Whatever.
Or
You're like,
knocked it out of the park. Hell yeah.
that's
Again,
right.
we contain
best-
multitudes.
The best was the Armed Forces Bowl responding to something we posted the next day, being like, "Hey, would have gotten back to you sooner. Internet was slow for some reason."
Beautiful. It was a beautiful tweet, that one.
It was great.
Shout out to all the great folks I met there in the media, as well as the TCU communication staff. A lot of
And-
folks came up to me and said that what we did, like, loved what we did, which was bizarre. It felt, like I said, it always feels a little Fight Club. Like I go in and someone behind the counter just leans and goes, "We love what you're doing." Like, who are you? Oh my god! Like, you know what? So bizarre.
No, you
sat
also you got to meet Big Game Boomer.
I sat next to Big Game Boomer, in fact. So it was wonderful. It was great to talk to people. It was great to sort of get out there. Shout out to the Baylor band, by the way. The Baylor band who was there and froze their asses off and still played the first half, because we were getting live tweets from the band. The first half, they couldn't play because their instruments froze. And I was like, oh, you have to use that special oil. They're like, no, we did that. It still froze because it
God.
was that cold.
Yeah.
So apparently they went in before halftime, warmed things up. There's videos of them trying to pull the slides of the trombones out.
Yes,
They
that was hilarious.
ran onto the field, played very out of tune, but they played, God bless them, and then ran back. And then I got the clarinet pictures. And I think you guys have all seen those,
Yes.
where
Yes.
someone's the condensation froze in the bell of the clarinet and had a little like icicle hanging down. And it was like, I posted it. I don't go on Facebook anymore because I have lots of my old band director friends in my past life there. Fucking hammered that on Facebook. Just to see the horrified faces. And the best for all band directors going, "That's a wooden clarinet. Why did you take a wooden clarinet outside?" Like panicking. These people would do it.
They're freaking out. I think it was the second coldest bowl game ever.
Yeah.
It was 13 when they kicked off. There was two other bowl games that were, I think, kicked off at 12 degrees. So that was not pleasant for Baylor.
And windy as shit. I just
Yeah,
I
weren't there
can't
shirtless
describe
people?
to you. Oh,
yeah.
they were insane. I don't know how they
The
didn't lose.
shirtless.
They should have lost nipples in that thing. I don't know how they survived it.
Was there a shirtless? There was a shirtless Baylor fan that had
Yeah.
painted himself green,
hmm
and then I think he had under 43.5 on him,
Yeah.
and then
Oh
it went
yes, he had
over
the
or
under
something. I
painted
think
on
that's
his
what happened.
back.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, he had a number painted, and then we couldn't find him anymore after it
Uh,
went over. Which,
things were freezing on site. I haven't seen that since I lived in the Northeast. Like I have not seen that in a long ass time. I also had to get into at TCU. They've rebuilt that stadium when they joined the Big 12. They gutted it and did a lot of new things. Press box really nice, but to get into the press box, you have to go through a loading dock, and y'all finding the loading dock while I was freezing because it's like down and behind the stadium. And when they say loading dock, they're not like, oh, it's the door next to the like it's the loading dock. And their elevator, much like the elevator at the Independence Bowl,
that froze.
Oh,
Yes.
boy.
was also freezing on and off. So they
Oh,
said,
no.
"Hey, you can get on. You're going to risk it." It's like I will take the stairs. So 4 flights up, got to sit in the press box. I really decided that I prefer sitting down. Like given the chance, I prefer sitting in the crowd because it's a very different vibe. In the press box, you're not supposed to cheer. You're not supposed to. But I'm internet media, so fuck it. Like I don't look like a sports guy anyways, so who cares? But you're being like, "Holy shit! Did you see that?" is not good. But down in the crowd, I like the vibe of the crowd. I understand why a lot of the folks that we talk to about sports end up sitting in the crowd most of the time, anyways, if they're just going to a game to have fun because it's way more fun in the crowd. But at 9 degrees, it was not.
I felt that way when I did college radio too. I called basketball. Well, I did studio for basketball games, but I never called a football game in part because I just really liked being a fan.
I will say that the kicking in this game was atrocious for 2 reasons. One, that ball was frozen solid, and every time they kicked it, I'm in the press box and I could hear someone's toe fracturing against that thing. I don't know how they didn't end up with like fractured toes at this. And 2, the wind was coming so hard across the top of that stadium that if a ball went up more than about 20 feet off the field, it would just go the other way. So the punts were all like, at one point, Baylor punted on their first 2 drives. We're trying to punt straight in the wind, and each punt went like 10 yards. And we were just like, no, this ain't it, man. Like, don't do this, Baylor. Just go for it on 4th. Do something else. This is not the correct answer. Great game. Loved it. Gave
That
all
was a fun one.
Gave all my hand warmers out. When I realized I was going to be in the booth, I gave all my hand warmers out to the parking attendants because they were fucking freezing. I was like, you know what? You guys had these.
This is Air Force's 3rd straight 10-win season, not counting 2020 because they didn't even play 10 games, but 2019, 21, and 22, at least 10 wins. So
it's insane that in my mind this is a disappointing Air Force season because I thought that like in my mind I had them very much picked early on in the year as being the G5 team, but seeing them at 10-3, I don't know what else. That's great.
10-3 and disappointed with Air Force is a wild position to be in.
Right?
But I'm kind of with you.
You're both upset that they didn't win the Mountain West. That's
that's what it
Yes,
was. They were
yeah.
in contention there deep into the season, and it's just like, okay, wow, okay, yeah.
which is you would expect them. You were hoping for them to make at least the Mountain West title game, and they didn't make.
They're in the mountain, right?
There.
They're in the mountain,
I
right?
believe they are. Yes.
Yes, because it was Boise and then Wyoming in the West, and they had the game late to decide who was going to win that.
So we go on to the next day, and we start with Shreveport.
Oh yeah.
Independence Bowl.
Yes.
This is the same problem. The weather was not as bad, but it was still super cold in Shreveport. So same kicking problems because the ball was just made of ice and hatred, and same elevator problems because people were stuck in the elevator at the Independence Bowl.
It broke. The elevator broke.
And no one from either of these fan bases or Shreveport was prepared for that weather either. It was just...
Well, I mean, they're from Houston and Lafayette. They're
yeah,
never
exactly.
prepared
No,
for it.
they shouldn't be. I'm not saying they should.
It's like an Arctic blast. And for me, it was amazing because it was the full-on Shreveport on display. It's the Bunky Perkins holiday. Basically, he represents Shreveport. The Sickos committee, the spiritual home and headquarters is in Shreveport. Just a whole bunch of dudes not wearing shirts or wearing like camo overalls. Mm-hmm. Just in the crowd cheering everything.
Lots of camo.
There was a lot of camo because I mean, really that area is deer hunting country. Yeah. So when it gets cold, they have a lot of camo. All of their cold gear is camo.
Yeah, when I lived in that part of the country, it was the same thing. If it got below freezing, everybody else was in camo.
Because that's all you got. If you're gonna go at like 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning to go hunting at the coldest part of the day or night or whatever, basically it's a lot of fun. Just throw the camo on, put on the crazy hunting cap, and just go enjoy it. There was one dude with a shirtless, and he had an Iowa State beanie on, which
Yes.
didn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
I never. Oh my god.
Man, he must have booked those tickets in advance, expecting Iowa
I
State.
mean,
to
he
make
was
the bowl,
hoping for the Iowa State. Like, you see that for like maybe like a Sugar Bowl or something. You were hoping to get there. But Iowa State, they set their hopes at Independence Bowl level this year. And that fan booked the Independence Bowl tickets.
I hope that's what it was.
That's
Someone who
what I
didn't.
want it to be.
Yeah, I think you're fine now. Talk, Beth.
Hi.
Yep, you're recording now.
Hooray.
Oh, she's
Bump up your
low.
volume just a little bit.
How's that?
Do you need the show note link, Beth?
I think I just found it. Don't mind me, I've been playing Living on a Prayer for the last 3 hours.
There you go. The only reason Lafayette lost this game was because they had 3 turnovers. Otherwise, they would have had Houston. That's basically how this game went.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the Cougar coaster. You never know what's going to happen.
Whee! I had the urge to reinstall Roller Coaster Tycoon again, and I'm gonna do it.
Oh,
And
yes.
I'm just gonna label everything the Cougar coaster. Every park's gonna have a Cougar coaster. And
The
it's gonna be
Cougar coaster.
intensity 10, excitement 10, nausea 10.
Do
It
I
was
need-
amazing.
do I need
Painted
to-
people.
Bright red.
Yep, bright red.
I mean,
Do I need to start making entertainment abattoirs in that program again?
oh yes, God, that is such a polite way of saying it. Yes,
I mean, is it?
abattoir is a fancy word.
True.
I was going to say the Cajuns were up 16-6
Yeah, that
at
was
one point at halftime, and then they didn't score anymore. It was
it
just
just stopped. Oh,
the Cougars just they owned the entire second half. Outscored them 17-0 in the second half.
we go on to
Didn't know what's doing.
the Gathparia Bowl.
Gasparilla.
Gathparia, from the Gathparia region of Spain. It's sort of like near Toledo, but a little more Galatian. So sounds a little more Portuguese. It's up in there somewhere. Toledo and Portugal and Toledo and Galatia are nowhere near each other. I'm 99% sure.
No.
Okay, that
What the
works.
gift?
Perfectly. That's exactly what I wanted.
Leave it in.
Wake one. No, that's fine. I meant to make it confusing. Wake one.
I
This
believe-
His
game.
geography is well documented at this point.
Oh yeah.
I believe that Toledo is mentioned prominently in the book of Galatians in the Bible.
There we go.
Yeah.
See, perfect.
All that is right.
That's all right.
There might be a Galicia near Toledo, Ohio. I really don't know
There
that
probably
part of
is.
the country too well.
I guess-
There's a Galena that's pretty darn close.
That's probably
Yeah,
it.
there we go.
That counts.
Wake won this game 27-17. Mizzou looked like they were going to win it for a bit, and then just the wheels came off on them. I think the most interesting thing about this was that at some point, Wake was up 14-3 and let Mizzou get back in the game, basically. Like, they had the chance to put Mizzou out, and they just couldn't do it.
Well,
It
Mizzou
ended up
took the
being-
lead.
Yeah, it ended up being 27-17, but that's not indicative of the game because that was in the last 2 minutes. Once Wake took the lead in the third quarter, and then it still looked like it was going to be a close game the whole way through.
I just want to give a shout out to Luther Burden the third. It's basically there's no time left, like maybe like a minute left, and they're down 10, and it's 4th and 33. So they throw a pass to Luther Burden the third, and he just puts out maximum effort, trying so hard to pick up this 4th and 33 with like absolutely no chance to do it, but just goes flying, gets like 20 something yards, gets like flipped up in the air, just throwing his body recklessly, just showing all effort for Mizzou. It really with nothing to gain. Disappointing that his knee was actually down when he caught it, so it
Yeah.
didn't really count. But I just want to applaud the effort there because, I made a tweet. I was like, this man was really trying hard on 4th and 33. And like some Mizzou fans took it as I was hurting them or like making fun of them, which again, when you have a sicko avatar, sometimes it's hard to take it the right way. But no, I just want to give him just the effort to do that against all odds and down 10 with like no time left on 4th and 33. Just, I appreciate that. That's all I want to say on that.
Anyone else have any Gasparia Bowl takes?
I mean, the treasure
Commish,
chest
it-
is
Was there
always
any-
nice.
The treasure chest was nice. The trophy's nice.
Commish, it's hard sometimes to sell trying as a compliment. When I was a kid, my dad got all of us together. I'm one of 6. And like he was trying to give us all compliments. So he was like, Beth, you're really smart. Jen, you work really hard. Hiram, you're a really good athlete. And Kate, man, you just try. You try. You try.
Oh, man.
Oh no, Dad.
You never
Oh,
stop
Dad.
trying. You're just out there doing your best. And she's like, do I ever succeed? Anything's like, just he's like, there's a lot of triers, but you're the best. You're the best trier. So here's to Mizzou, the best triers.
Okay, I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I applaud the effort.
No, it
really
was
give
an
the
awesome
effort.
play.
It was
Oh,
great.
gosh.
I mean, he got like 20 something yards of it. And I mean, he did like a crazy flip, but it didn't count. Still playing hard to the whistle. Thank you for trying. He's a 5-star freshman wide receiver, so I appreciate that. And Mizzou fans love him. So I just wanted to say that as a concession because I got a little blowback, and I just wanted to clarify that there.
On Christmas Eve, the Hawaii Bowl. This was the most chill 25-23 game I have ever seen. Mitsu won this, but at no point did this game ever feel intense. It felt like both teams got onto the island and just decided, like, we're going to do our best. It's fine. I don't feel any need to go real hard here. They played okay. I think the bigger thing to say is that Mitsu won this by 2 points. They had 185 yards to San Diego State's 363.
No. Mitsu had 170 yards.
Yeah, Mitsu had like no yards.
They had negative 66 yards rushing.
That was the number.
Yes.
A lot of sacks.
So San Diego State had 5 turnovers. So I don't know about chill, but they were a little
really bad picks.
relaxed with the ball, so to speak. You could say there. But yeah, negative 66 yards rushing. I think this was the one where we had the graphic that, I think the graphic department checked out on Christmas Eve because they said Middle Tennessee had 441 turnovers.
Yes.
It's like 441 interceptions on the graphic.
Probably felt like that.
It did. But, San Diego State, they're the ones that turned the ball over a bunch. Just an incredible struggle fest. It was a lot of fumbles, field goals, interceptions. It was fun to watch. I'll just say that. I really enjoyed that one.
This was where I had talked to I told my in-laws that I had doing this thing, and I was like, oh, well, here's a good example of an unconventionally attractive game. 2 teams that you may not have heard of much, but this Mitsu team beat Miami. This San Diego State team beat most of the teams they should have this year. These are 2 teams that should be fun to watch. And then we got, it was not a fun watch. I won't lie, especially to people who are not steeped in our tradition. My in-laws were much like, what are we watching? I was like, no, this is football. I go, really? It's like, yeah, it was.
If you squint and turn your head kind of sideways, yeah.
Mitsu managed 17 yards per drive.
Mm-hmm.
Mitsu managed to get 30% of their available yards. That means basically wherever they got the ball, what percentage of the yards they moved forward that were available to them. They got 30% of those and won the game by 2.
These
so
teams went a combined 7 for 33 on third down.
Beautiful.
That's not beautiful.
Brian Ferentz is dreaming about this game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is what we thought the Music City Bowl was going to be.
Right. Little did we know that offensive genius Brian Ferentz would pull out the good stuff for the Music City Bowl.
Well, you got to save it until you need it.
We can talk about that a little bit later.
We'll get there. Yes.
We'll get there.
I had burned all my credit with my family already at this point by talking both my parents into watching the New Orleans Bowl with me by saying, South Alabama is a very good team and Western Kentucky can score loads of points. One of those things turned out to be true.
That's right.
Well, both of them are still true. One of them was less true in that game. South Alabama had a phenomenal season, but the defense didn't play up to their standard in that game. By the time the Hawaii Bowl rolled around, I was watching alone in the living room with my dad walking through occasionally, just grunting and asking why I was still watching this.
Why are you still watching this?
Yeah, we
Parents just don't
opined.
understand.
We opined for the Hawaii Bowl that they absolutely had just come from Jermaine's luau, and when you eat that much Kahlua pig, you need to nap for at least 2 or 3 hours afterward, and it just was that kind of game.
So then we had Christmas Day, or whatever you do on December 25th. And then we go on to the 26th, which was sort of our like mini Super Bowl because it was the Quick Lane Bowl. And we watched New Mexico State absolutely just play their best and win. And it was a wonderful feeling.
It was actually a really good game.
It really was.
Yes.
This is the one that I wish I had like built up more, because this was actually a really good game between two teams who were, hanging in there in this season. Bowling Green ends with like my favorite record in the world, which is the 6-7 record, which is always a beautiful record. Only better one is 7-7. And
I do like the 5-8 though. The 5-8 is fun.
5-8 feels real good too.
It's just because it's more rare.
Diego Pavia once again shows up, balls out, and absolutely takes down Bowling Green. He was 17 for 29, 167 yards, 2 TDs. He ran for 65 more yards. What more do you want from him? Like, that's a great game.
I would just like to note that a player hit a ref, not exactly like Mike Glass III hit a ref, but there was a ref who was hit by a player on the second anniversary of Mike Glass hitting a ref playing for EMU in this game.
Look
Why is it this game? Why is it this game?
Detroit's just got that fight energy.
Right?
That I believe.
We're gonna have to christen this thing the Bludgeon Bowl.
I like that.
It's just something about Ford Field. You just want to hit an authority figure.
That's all that.
That checks out. That absolutely checks out.
You get some square pizza in you, and you're ready to fight.
That's right.
It's all about Detroit. It's not
Definitely.
pizza.
We had our man.
The cheese is all the way to the edge.
We had our man Chicken Sedan there. We had our Canadian representative who reached out to me. He said that, hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it because there's snow. And I was like, please be safe. Don't go unless you can make it. And then he decides to go and wrecks his car in the snow and tweets that he wrecked his car in the snow. So I'm like, okay.
I missed that one.
He's okay.
Yeah, man.
He's okay. But I was like, don't go unless you can make it. I know the weather's crazy. Don't do it. I mean, I have like the direct messages to him, like, don't do it. And then he sends me the picture of him, like his car wrecked on the side of the road. But he's okay.
If we kill a correspondent before we're like an actual business, I'm gonna laugh.
Oh man, it's just like dude, don't. I was like, don't go unless you can make it. And then I see his car. I'm like, this car's not all-wheel drive. What are you doing? Don't even attempt
it's
this.
a tiny little car.
It's
There's
a
no
little
way
tiny car. Come on, man.
Because he's Canadian and cocky, I guess. I don't know.
I was like, man.
I'm gonna drive in a blizzard.
He really
and
needed a
roller
quick lane.
skates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
That was good advertising for Quick Lane. But Chicken Sedan,
Yeah, seriously.
at least he lived in the region of the bowl game, not coming from another country. Which, I mean, Detroit and Canada, they're right next to each other. But still, yeah, Chicken Sedan was able to make it. He was able to finally get the Sickos committee record with New Mexico State in the game back to 500, because the one I went to, they lost to FIU. So the Sickos committee is 1-1 in the presence of New Mexico State. Probably I'm the bad juju, I guess. After I leave, it's better. So
Yeah, they have a turnaround.
Big turnaround. Let's go to the last drive that New Mexico State needed to seal it.
Okay.
6 minutes, 27 seconds left. New Mexico State is hanging on to a 5-point lead. New Mexico State rattles off 13 plays for 43 yards and kills the entire clock to end the game. So let's just see. So Diego Pavia on 3rd and 9 on the New Mexico State 26, he runs for 9 yards to barely pick up the first down. On 3rd and 10, the next set of downs on New Mexico State's 35, Pavia runs for 10 yards to pick up the first down. Like, just barely getting everything. 3rd and 5, Pavia at the 50. Pavia completes a pass for 6 yards to get the first down.
Sipping.
And then 3rd and 2.
Sipping at those yards.
3rd and 2, Pavia gets 5 yards on a run to seal it, and that was it. Whatever third down they needed to get, New Mexico State barely got it and was just able to run out the clock. It was a great game.
The third downs on this drive are incredible because the first downs on this drive are a horror show. We have 1st and 10, Pavia pass complete for 1 yard. Next set of downs, run for -2. Next set of downs, run for 4 yards. Run for 1 yard. Sack for -1.
So what we're
Or
seeing
sorry,
is
no, that's the kneel down. Sorry.
they're a late down team, is what you're saying.
Yes. No, it definitely improves with time.
That's what you
Pressure
love.
team.
That's what you love
Pressure
about it.
team.
About what you want from your team is bad 1st and 2nd downs, but just hair on fire thirds. That's what really makes a fan feel comfortable watching their team.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is Diego Pavia is going to transfer to Houston.
Basically, oh god,
Oh gosh.
he would. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh, my stomach just turned slightly.
this
Oh
into
god.
existence.
It's
That just
people
popped
that
into my head, and oh my god.
Jesus Christ. Want to say our boy Jerry Kill signed a new contract. Well, finally signed a contract. We'll put it that way.
Yes. Which with this, by signing this contract, it voids the one that he never signed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this contract was beautiful because it had some very Randy Edsel type things in it. My favorite part was a 10K bonus for beating UTEP and a 10K bonus for beating New Mexico. More contracts should have bonuses for beating your rivals. That feels
Absolutely.
good. That absolutely feels good. The better part was that it's only a $50,000 bonus if he wins the college national championship.
Yes.
Beating UTEP is not 5 times less than beating the college national championship at New Mexico State. I don't care what they say.
Listen, that's a heated
No,
rivalry.
UTEP is 20% of a national title, and I
Yeah.
will not hear an argument otherwise.
Yeah, I'm here for this. The question that I have though is how much of a bonus does he get for that swaggy ass poncho? That's what I
It
want
was
to
so
know.
good. Those ponchos were amazing.
Yes.
God, it was really good.
They came off the
Yes.
bus, and oh my god.
I want one.
He changed his avatar, his Twitter picture, to him holding the Starbucks cup with the poncho.
Yes!
So he did that. Yeah, we bullied him into that, or not bullied, or praised him into that. They'll say that. There's some
Peer
funny things in the
pressure.
contract too for Jerry Kill. It's basically requiring New Mexico State to do certain things to the facilities, and like one is like repaving a certain lot.
No, it's not repave. It's not repaving. It's
paving.
paving the lot.
It's a dirt
Oh
lot.
my God.
No, when I was there, like there's a lot. It's just dirt, and that's where all the kids were hanging out, like all the students hanging out having fun, and it's just a dirt lot. And there's like tents and stuff, whatever. And there's just a bunch of kids there, and then they're gonna pave that lot now.
So the way it's worded is that if they don't do these things, there is no buyout, or that basically he can quit the agreement with no buyout on his part.
Mm.
And it's 1, install a new video board before the first home game of 2024. 2, constructing a new artificial grass practice field before the first home game of 2024. 3, pave New Mexico State's parking lot number 15 prior to the first home game. And 4, a new home football locker room prior to the first game of 2024. That's a lot of stuff.
It is.
But they like him, and he didn't take a huge bump in salary on this contract, like only $50K more. He's still getting paid not almost Terry Bowden money. This all seems good. He also apparently has an out where if the current athletic director leaves the position and the assistant that Jerry apparently likes does not get the job, he can also walk away.
Yeah.
That was the one that I saw that I was like, huh,
It's
that's
weird.
interesting.
Yeah, that's excited about New Mexico State. They are very much in an upward position. That always makes us very
Yes.
happy. We go on
FIU
to
next.
Yeah, FIU next. Oh god, that one. No, Mike McIntyre had a good year, and they ended up like 3-9, but that was a really better 3-9, and they beat New Mexico State, which
Wait. You said
did FIU have 3-9?
no. They were 5-7.
Oh, never mind then. I was underselling them. Sorry, they weren't having an Akron year; they were having an FIU year.
I really want to go to their home opener next
I'm
year.
sorry, 4-8,
That's
4-8.
high on my list.
Oh, yeah, okay, so you were a little too excited, and I was a little okay. There we go, somewhere
They
in the
were
middle.
4-4 after that point, and they lost 4 straight. That's what happened.
Does
I
anyone
think
have?
somebody's happy that Pitt basketball just won.
Do they?
They haven't won yet. It's very
Oh.
close.
Okay.
Not yet. Not yet.
Can
Don't
someone
jinx
tell
it.
me about what happened in the Camellia Bowl? Because I really don't remember. Buffalo won it. I know that.
I know I watched this game, but I honestly couldn't tell you.
No, I remember this. timeout. I remember this because Kyle Van Treese went off. 28 for 45, 352, 2 TDs, 1 int. Had a great day.
There was this. I remember this game because it was taking so long because everybody kept passing. Like nobody could run the ball for anything. Buffalo threw the ball 38 times. Georgia Southern threw the ball 47 times.
Hell yeah, they did.
The clock would just not go away. This game just was endless, and Buffalo was able to hang on and get the win at the end.
Clay Helton doesn't get his bowl win.
The incredible thing about this is both teams, were passing like crazy and all that, and the score was really close. The yardage is relatively close, all of that. Buffalo nearly doubled up Georgia Southern's time of possession here.
First Responder Bowl, Memphis just took it to Utah State. This was probably the most lopsided bowl game, well, until the second.
The one we talk about later.
Until the second. This is probably the most lopsided bowl game I'd seen. I watched not a snap of this one. I was just watching it by score and was like, no, thank you. I had Precipice. I had to turn it down because I ended up being out of town because I didn't know I was going to be able to go to this one. But Memphis just took it to Utah State. Like, that's the Birmingham Bowl. This was East Carolina and Coastal for the Booty Trophy. Guys, that trophy has so much cheek on it. And they had the little bobble butts too. Yes. They were great.
They sell them in like the Birmingham like tourism stores. You could buy like bobble butts.
Mm-hmm.
So people were sending us videos and just hitting the butt over and over again, and I could not get enough of it. I was like, I'm gonna Venmo you some money. Please buy me one.
I am in the Birmingham area about once a year, like maybe 40 minutes outside of it. I'll probably be going there sometime this spring, so let me know, and I will go in and pick up a ton of those.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The butt is so good. The butt's everywhere.
It's just I'm not even going to say, like, phrasing. Just get in. The butt is so good.
It's so good.
The butt is everywhere.
It's everywhere. You can't get away from the butt.
Give it that Birmingham butt.
I think
Commish wants to touch the butt.
Birmingham
he touched the butt.
He touched the butt.
Birmingham butt sounds like a really fucked up way to make pork barbecue.
I was thinking that.
I know it does.
Yeah. Like I marinated it in lemonade.
Right, yeah, lemonade and cheerwine.
And
yeah,
Dr. yeah, cheerwine. There we
go. Actually, a cheerwine.
Like the Cane's lemonade. That stuff.
Pork? Oh yeah, that's. I don't think any of us that had watched Coastal Carolina in the last month were surprised by this result.
No.
Coastal has been self-immolating for the last month or so, and this just continued the process.
Well, they lost their coach. Then Grayson was in the game for a bit, and it was kind of close, and then he got hurt. Yeah. Again, I guess he re-aggravated the injury. I don't know exactly what the injury was. And then from that point, Holton Ahlers just went off for East Carolina. Like, they just could not stop him. And they scored like 53. Was it 53-29 was the final score?
Yeah,
it was good. The Pirate got the booty.
Got the booty. Gosh. Oh.
I had to work that in there. There we go.
Man, I wish we could put the whole podcast right there because that would be a good way to cut it.
Oh my God! Look at that butt.
Look at that butt.
Oh man! Never show the trophy from the front. Just show it from the back.
Why would you? I don't know that it needs a front. It could just be you could just not detail the front.
Featureless front.
Yeah.
We love to watch it walk away.
Featureless front. Just tons of cake on the back. That's all you need. Kindle front, cake back.
Oh yeah, I mean,
if I win that
on that shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
If I win that trophy, I am pouring vodka down the back of that.
Oh.
And taking shots up the ass. I'm
the Birmingham butt shot.
The Birmingham butt shot. There we go.
The butt, is that a butt luge shot? That
showing
you're gonna
up,
do off
showing up,
the
showing up to the
Vulcan?
Birmingham Bowl next year with an
Oh.
ice luge of the Vulcan statue.
Can we get like an ice sculpture
Yeah,
of the Vulcan?
And we just put your fucking face down at the butt. We'll pour it in the top. It's great. Pour it in the mouth. Comes out the butt.
What are we shooting from there? What are we gonna shoot? We need something Birmingham themed.
I was thinking Jaeger, but I always think Jaeger and ice luge.
No.
I just think Jaeger, ice luge, and fighting.
Jaeger
cowards. Cowards.
That's what Birmingham does.
That's
like
what Birmingham
straight
does to you.
gin.
Yeah, straight. Ooh, yeah, there we go.
Man.
Then our nightcap on that day was the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. This is the one in the baseball stadium in Arizona. It was the first of our many, holy shit, how is the field this bad games?
Yes.
Because this one wasn't
Not the
awful,
worst, though.
but it was slippery.
No.
Not the
Well,
worst.
this is the home of the original Cheez-It Bowl, which, Cheez-It left. Now it's the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. So it's like basically you're taking over the spirit of the original Cheez-It Bowl in 2018 on this one.
This was also the scene last year of the rainy domed bowl game, because they opened the dome up while it was raining before the game started. Beautiful, wonderful. Wisconsin won this. Again, if you watch Oklahoma State play football the last 2 months, this is not a surprise to you. Oklahoma State has slowly come apart at the seams due to injuries and various other things. They made it a closer game than it probably should have been.
The presence of Mike Gundy.
But Wisconsin quarterback Chase Wolf passed for 116, 1 TD, 1 int, and that was enough to win this game. They also had 2 rushing touchdowns, which is very Wisconsin as hell.
The weirdness of this game was Luke Fickell was on the sidelines.
He led
but
the team
he
out,
wasn't the coach. He had like the headset on. And then like Jim Leonard, who's leaving, was like the coach. Mm-hmm. It was so weird. Dynamic. It's been done before, but it was just a weird situation. The only thing that I really remember from this game is when Oklahoma State, I think their first 6 drives, they had 17 yards, and then the other drive they had was one play for like 80 something yards, and that was their only points. And that was the first half, and it was a touchdown. It was an amazing touchdown, but like the wide receiver didn't have his mouthpiece in his mouth when he was running.
Yeah. So
it was like tethered to his face mask, and it was just bouncing all over the place. And so he's running and he's making all these moves. He's just running. I'm just watching it looked like a weird like snake tongue just bouncing all over the place while he's running in for the touchdown. I couldn't help but watch that highlight so many times because of his mouthpiece.
We move on to the Military Bowl. Hey, Pitt Girl, Duke is 9-4.
Hey,
Are you
good for
prepared
Duke.
to accept Are you prepared to accept a good Duke team?
Yes.
Next year?
Actually, yes. Good for Duke.
Those Duke kids, they don't have enough good things that happen in their lives. They needed this too. Absolutely ran over UCF. I don't know. I don't know if I've seen UCF look this bad in a while. And I know that they were down some folks, and that's fine. But John Reese Plumlee was their QB, and he's been in all season, and he did not look great. 0 TDs, 1 int. Like, just nothing.
No, Duke's defense is legit. Like, they were just hounding.
Elko
they were all over UCF. Like, as soon as like UCF had like a little momentum at all, or UCF would do like one good play, get a first down or something, and then like Duke's defense would like just immediately no more. That's enough of that, and just stop. It was incredible. Like Elko is a great defensive mind. I have never seen Duke's defense look this dominating, and their offense is a perfect complement. It's Duke good. That's all I gotta say. Duke good. That's it.
Good. The Liberty Bowl. The Liberty Bowl. I was flying when this game was on. I was on my flight, and I was flying, and Arkansas was up big. So I went, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna switch over to the Holiday Bowl. I switched it, and I didn't have my phone on because I was on a plane. So I was like, I'm just gonna switch to the Holiday Bowl. It's fine. It'll probably be better. And I get off the plane. I check my messages, check everything, and my phone is melting down because Kansas has woken up and absolutely run back into this game. I was shocked.
So this is something the commissioner is going to own here. So we had this one rated as a Sickos warning going into the game, and we were like, okay, 6-6 Arkansas versus 6-6 Kansas, this is going to be a bunch of fireworks. This is nuts. This is going to be great. And really, like, Arkansas field goal, 3-0. Then it's 7-3, Kansas is up. We're like, okay. Then Arkansas, bam, bam, bam. Just all of a sudden, Arkansas is up like 31-7. And then they go up 31-13. And this is probably one of the few times that I've actually downgraded a game. I downgraded it to a Sickos watch. So I lowered the thing to a Sickos watch. And of course, I kept watching the game because I was like, come on, Kansas, show some life, show some fight. Please, just, don't just be happy to be here. Show something. Then, oh boy, did they show something. They showed up.
Christ.
And then I immediately upgraded it back to a warning. Like, I don't think it stayed a watch for like a little. I was like, after like a couple plays, and then Kansas made it like 38-23, and then I upgraded it back to a warning. I'm like, oh, what's going on? There was some questionable reffing, y'all.
Oh, it was super. It was super.
Oh my
suspect.
God, these refs were just, oh my God. And then they had to admit after the game the next day. Can you imagine if Arkansas lost this game? It was ridiculous. By the way, don't yell at us about the reffing and the bad calls. We can't fix that. If you want to vent in the replies with that, go right ahead. But just don't yell at us. Just like try to deflect and like just put like venting in parentheses. I can't believe this ref just made this call. He was clearly down. It's not a fumble. Oh my God, how did he call that targeting? Basically those two calls. We can't control it.
No bullshit. I called those myself from the plane. I called those calls. I called in. Hey, you guys want to guess where those refs were from?
Hope it didn't hit anybody. Oh, the Pac-12, of course.
Those were Pac-12 refs. Those were Pac-12 refs, baby. Pac-12 comes to Memphis.
This is also when we tell the listeners that we are the inheritors of the Buffalo Wild Wings chaos button.
It seems that way. Yes, we have. We
it is in our possession.
Yeah, we pass it around Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants style.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
You have to wear it on your chest like a GoPro.
Did they ever discuss how those pants fit all those different women? Is that covered in the lore?
Magic.
That's the magic of the pants.
Yes.
Okay, the magic of the pants is that they fit everyone.
Yes.
I could fit into the pants. I could fit into the pants.
Yes.
Okay.
You got them. You could fit in the pants.
Are you in the Sisterhood?
The only person who would not be able to fit in the pants is definitely the Vulcan trophy.
I was going to say. They don't make jeans for that.
They don't make jeans to hold that in.
Custom. You gotta order custom. You can't go off the rack with those. You got to get custom jeans.
The Vulcan's going to be an Instagram model.
It's a bolt of denim. We're just going to wrap you in this.
Kansas, Arkansas. Arkansas rushed for almost 400 yards in this game. It was just the Wampin show. KJ Jefferson had, I think, 130.
And so brutal.
It was just physical, and he was going off early in this game. He had one play. He had a 32-yard rush where it looked like he was going to get sacked like 10 yards in the backfield, and he shook off 3 people and got down to the 9. And one of my mom was in the room watching the game, or like not really paying attention to the game with me, but she saw that play and she's like, this guy is awesome. Like, that was amazing. He's so strong. Like, that was incredible. Why have I not heard of this guy? Because she's not, super plugged into all of this on that level. And then he immediately throws a pick in the end zone on the next play. It's just, it undid all of it, and it hurt so much.
It was a lot of fun there. That was just like, it's just classic. Like, wow, this is an amazing play, and then like immediately just ruins it the next play. And Arkansas fans were just like, oh, it's ridiculous. I think there was touchdown.
A lot of that in this game on both sides.
It was
especially
amazing.
Jalen Daniels threw a couple of picks, or threw at least one pick that I can remember. That was the same thing. It was like, and basically they're like Arkansas was like 10.
Yeah, he had 2 in the game, but one of them was especially painful.
Yeah, there was some that was just like gut wrenching. The overtime touchdown, which the Liberty Bowl is amazing for this, because of where the stands set up and how old the stadium is. Just like the camera gets blocked by people standing in the top rows. And so when Kansas gets the touchdown, they get the touchdown, and then like you see like I don't know if it was it was just a person
in a hoodie,
in a pig hoodie onesie or whatever it was. I didn't even see it was a touchdown. All I saw was that fan's reaction to it, just the immediately like they duck.
You see a Kansas fan,
touchdown, and you see a Kansas fan like come up below them and does like uppercut punch celebrating. Like it was so amazing just to get that reaction.
Right before the Arkansas person in the onesie stands up, there's like a kid probably in a beanie jumping up and down. Like it's just art.
Yeah,
Like
Jalen Daniels is rolling out. He throws the ball. This guy stands up and just blocks the entire end zone. And then you see Kansas fans celebrating, but you cannot see the guy that he threw the ball to at all.
You don't see anything. You're just like, okay, all right, it's a touchdown. But that's how the Liberty Bowl is designed. That's how it's designed. Like if they're standing up and it's a packed house, it's nuts. I mean, it was an absolute great bowl game, just fantastic. Which like basically led into the one right after this. Like we didn't get any break. We went straight to the Holiday Bowl after that one.
It was on at the same time.
Same time, essentially, yes.
Right. So I made the mistake and I flipped over. We'll go on to the Holiday Bowl because I flipped over to it, expecting that this was going to be the fireworks game. And this was fun. It was not a fireworks game. I expected this game to be 1,000 points. I mean, it hit the under. The Holiday Bowl never hits the under. But this one
especially with these two teams this year.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was just not a lot of scoring.
Slippery baseball grass again. So, I mean, you're not going to get a high-scoring game.
A perfectly fucking good football field in that town. Why? I like baseball stadiums when like you have another option, but literally a brand new stadium in the town. Oregon ends up winning that one 28-27 over North Carolina. Mac looks super unhappy the whole game. Mac looks just angry, which is just how it goes.
The best part was when Oregon, they score a last second touchdown essentially to tie the game, and then the extra point, he doinks it in.
Oh,
and we had Gus Johnson on the call. It was great. Just losing his mind because this was the only Fox Bowl game we got, and of course they put Gus Johnson on. It's Fox Sports.
Extra point.
Just
sports.
Oh my God! He dunked it. Just going absolutely insane. North Carolina has some time left, and then of course the last play of the game, miraculously, Mac Brown. They still got 1 second left.
That was oh God.
Has that happened before?
Oh man, it always happens for Mac Brown.
I posted the picture, and every Nebraska person in our timeline was like, we're not even we're in a bowl. We're off this year. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you do this to me tonight?
It's just like you had the picture faster than me. I was about to tweet it and I saw you already tweeted it to Mac Brown 1 second. And then all Nebraska fans are like, "Oh, I'm not again."
What is wrong with you? Why would you do this to me?
Thing happened in our Discord because I posted it in there and everyone was like, "What the fuck do you do?" No.
I was literally dying laughing when that 1 second came up again. I'm like, Mac Brown just always gets 1 second left, no matter what. It's like Mac Brown took one of those things where the bad Instagram or Facebook memes, like take too many pills or like take 2 pills. Mm-hmm. It's like always get 1 second when you need it. Back on a plate.
He stores the extra second in his puffy coat.
Yeah,
that's why it's puffy. Yeah. That's where the extra seconds live.
It's a bag of beaver nuggets in 1 second. Oh, look, I've got 1 second in here. Huh? How'd I get in there?
Have we considered maybe that's what the weird handshakes are? Is he's siphoning clock management out of other coaches and some of these clock commander incidents that we've had? We need to look back and see when the last time they played Mac was.
So Mac Brown is like the machine from The Princess Bride. He steals time.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
How was his handshake? I didn't actually see the handshake.
Dan Lanning evaded it very well. He was able to duck and dodge. Man. He was able to duck and dodge. Okay, I didn't mean that. Sorry.
You got a hug. Got a little bit of a hug. A little bit of a hug and a pat. I'm looking at it right now. It was because Mac was in a quarter zip. That's right.
Yeah, he wasn't in the jacket. That's true.
Oh, Hey y'all.
No camo to be
I got a quarter zip for Christmas because, and I quote, "You're too old to wear shorts and a hoodie."
Oh.
That is an attack on Pennsylvanian culture.
I should have said that.
Come on, that's everywhere. Need that.
That's my culture. You can't tell me not to do that.
My senator wears that.
Absolutely.
There you go.
All right, Pitt Girl. Where are we invading?
Come liberate me, please. The late night game on the 28th was the Texas Bowl in Houston.
Houston.
Man, Ole Miss looked like poop most of this game. Tech just went off on them. I think Tech looked like they had something to prove.
Yeah, they were angry. Like they played, their defense played just so angry. I think their linebacker was just, I mean, he was trying to like hurdle blockers. He was just, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I think it was number 1. But like he was everywhere, and he was just so mad.
Jackson Dart was having a bad time.
He was not having a great time. Ole Miss was not having a good time. I think they just failed another 4th down. They failed to convert another 4th down. Sorry, Lane. Eventually you'll be proven right, but I think you didn't convert another 4th down. Go for it on your 12. You'll get that one.
That was both teams. Like,
yes, it was nuts.
You know, there were 13 combined 4th down attempts in this game. The difference was Texas Tech converted 5 out of 6, and Ole Miss was 2 for 7. So the 5 turnovers that they had don't count the 5 turnovers on downs that they also had.
Do you know what it reminds me of?
7.
It was an Oregon.
Yeah.
It was an Oregon-Nebraska game a couple years back. I think Oregon was in Lincoln. I forget who the coach of Oregon was at the time, but he just kept going for it kept going for 2. Like, just go for it for 2 every time, and failed like 6 2-point attempts or something insane like that, and just been like, no, fuck it, we're gonna keep going. And I had the same feeling watching this. Like, Lane, it's not working. I don't care if you think like yes, over a long enough period of time, you're gonna revert to the mean. I get that, but small sample size says that's not gonna happen. May not happen today. Like, I get the numbers you're thinking about, but it ain't today.
The first punt in this game, would anyone want to guess when that occurred?
Oh, it was like 3rd quarter?
I'm going to go 4th quarter.
Yeah, early 4th.
It was just after halftime. It was 2 minutes into the 3rd.
Okay.
But...
God. Who won the rodeo?
Texas Tech.
Okay.
They won the rodeo.
Sure.
I would think, Texas Tech, you better beat Ole Miss in a rodeo.
Okay. That would be so fucking embarrassing.
That would be very embarrassing for you, Texas Tech. You're the pride of the meat judging world. I think,
I don't know. They're slipping.
I had a lot of fun.
Fans are going to fight you.
I had a lot of, again, dynasty, but A&M won it this year. I know.
Young upstarts.
That's one thing they won this year. But yes, I had fun beveling like the Texas Tech, the Masked Rider. That was a lot of fun to bevel that one. I think I turned one of their old school Texas Tech logos. He looked like a robot from Westworld. Mm-hmm. It was just so ridiculous. And then what was it? Was it Little Red? Was the one?
Yes.
It looked like so crazy. That was a good one.
What do I need to do to get to watch Lane Kiffin try bulldogging in boat shoes?
Oh no!
Because you know that his team did not show up in the right footwear. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
Yes, Ole Miss did not show up in the right footwear for this.
I lived in Oxford for 13 years. They don't own the right footwear for this.
I guess that. Yeah.
No way.
Okay, I found the game where Oregon went for all the 4th downs. They got the first one on a run, and they missed the last 3.
Yeah.
This was
2015, maybe
2016.
Okay,
yeah, Tommy Armstrong Jr. Wow, remember some guys.
God. Who was the coach of Oregon?
It was Mark Helfrich.
Oh, that was Helfrich's like first year or something like that. Yeah.
Announcer legend.
So that was the 28th, and that was the day that we started realizing, hey, these bowls are getting a little weird. Like, it'd been not a normal season up to that point, but things had started, like that Liberty Bowl really got people to perk up. Then the 29th comes.